Hello, friends. Happy Valentine's Day. I haven't done one of these in a long time. I teach all the time online. Obviously, I run my mouth on stories and I teach in education groups, but I rarely come on my own personal page and talk like politics, but I'm trying to do it more. And I want to address something. And I thought today's a perfect day for it. I put on my Valentines sweater because this is something I love talking about and something that to me is so important. And I know right now you're like, oh, it's politics. I don't want to hear it. But I encourage you to just listen to it later or something. I just want, it's mostly going to be numbers and facts and just explaining why I do what I do and why I every single day post something about how local elections matter. So I've had several conversations lately from people on my Facebook page who just do not understand why I am so mouthy about the lack of social media content from our candidates. And they just don't understand why it matters. They don't understand why I have these conversations on here. My goal is not to pick fights. I love our town. I love everything in here. I'm not against the things that have been done. There are some things I don't agree with, but I love our town. And I just really want more transparency. I just want to get to know the people that want to run our town. And so when I put these posts up, I'm not putting them up there to badmouth or trash certain areas. I'm putting them up there for more clarification, for transparency, for things like that. But I've had, if you saw my post yesterday, I put up just about, you have 5 more days to file if you want to run for office. And I ended it, I talked about, there's one person running for school board that I can't find anything on them on social media at all, nothing. And people kind of argued with me. They came back and they're like, well, I don't know what you want to know. She's this, she's that, she's this, she's that. First of all, I wasn't criticizing. I was just saying, if I'm going to vote for somebody, which that's not even my district, but you need to work for it. You need to meet us where we're at. And in my mind, that's social media. In 2025, 54% of people got their news from social media. 72% of them got it from online videos, YouTube, stuff like that. 15% of it got it from podcasts. Those are big numbers. So if you want to reach 54% of the people in our town, they're getting it on social media. If you want to meet 72% of them, they're getting it on online videos. Also, 78% of the people across the country got their news from their phone, 45% from their computer. So what that's showing me is that more than half of the people across the country rely on this object right here to tell them what's happening in the world, tell them who they need to vote for, tell them what they need to be outraged about, tell them when they need to call their congressman. That's what's doing it. Hamlin County has grown by over 10,000 people in the last 6 years. 10,000 people. That means that there are at least 10,000 people that are not locals, that do not know the good old boy system here, that do not know people that have been here their entire life that everybody knows. I have been here 21 years. 21 years I have lived in Morristown. I don't know half the names on this list that are running. I don't know half these names. And I go to a really big church here. My kids have been in all these school systems. I know a lot of people. I work at a downtown big business. I am in the community a lot. And I don't know half the people running on here. So these 10,000 people that moved here are not going to know these people. So you can't rely on, if you'll notice in those comments, and I'm not bad-mouthing anyone. I'm not saying anything bad. They were like, well, I know this person. They played the piano in my church for 15 years. Okay, so then that little group of people at your church know that person. My husband taught her tennis lessons. Okay, so there's another group of people that... How is that helping the vast majority of Hamlin County? It's not. First of all, I'm not going to base my voting for them. I know very amazing people that do amazing things that I don't agree with them politically. So there's that. But also, that's not helping. the majority of residents are not going to attend a campaign launch. They're not going to come to town hall meetings. They're not going to watch town hall meetings online. And they're not going to show up at like Republican or Democrat club meetings. They're not. They're just not going to do it. Should they? Probably, if they want to know what's going on in their town. But I think of these parents that are working, kids, sports, extra activities, church things. They don't have time in their day for that. They need to get it in their pockets of time on social media. All right, signs. Signs are great for a local election. It gives name recognition. When you see a sign over and over and over again, it gets imprinted in your head even if you don't know it. Signs are good, but those don't show you values. They just show you that you have a really good graphic designer and your font choice. Or a bad graphic designer, bad font choice. Campaign mailers are good. This is great. I've gotten one already. I've gotten one card, Dr. Dan Parks, but it just has 3 bullet points right here. That's not telling me a lot. It's telling me a little bit. It's giving me enough to be like, this is interesting. Let me look into him because I like these 3 bullet points. But that's all that's really doing. It's a little more name recognition. Local events are great, but it's still only hitting a small pocket of people. It's not getting the entire town there. You're not getting to talk to the entire town. You're getting to talk to, if it's a festival downtown for, I don't know, I can't even think of one, like the beer festival. That's hitting a very small market of people. It's not hitting all the people. The dog event they always do, small group of people. I mean, it's big people, but you know what I mean? It's not hitting all 75,000 people in this town. But social media is hitting half of the people, if not more. 54% get their news from social media, 72% from online videos. That's a huge number to hit. So that's a great place for you to put up a post with all your stuff, do live videos, do question answer, get on there and go live and just be like, ask me questions. What do you want to know? Show what your family does, show what you do in your spare time, show all that kind of stuff. Work for us. Work for your vote. A great person for this, if you don't follow him, the Cook County Mayor, Rob Mathis. Do you follow the Cook County? I know nothing about him as a person. Maybe you're going to get on here and be like, he's the worst. I think he is a phenomenal mayor. He does more live videos than anyone I've ever seen. I know more about what's going on in Cook County than I know what's going on in Hamilton County. He comes on every single week with live videos of what's going on there. He posts everything going on in his thing. He just put up a post yesterday, and it was every reason why he should be reelected. Every single thing he's ever done. Obviously, he's the incumbent, but still, it is a phenomenal post. He is so good at being transparent and coming in and telling people what he's doing for them. Go follow him. I'm not even kidding. Newport, you got a great mayor. Do I know every little detail that he's done? And I'm not paying that much attention. I just always appreciate the fact when he came on during the hurricane, he was on there multiple times a day, keeping people updated. Multiple times a day. Nobody worked harder than that man during that hurricane. So shout out to Rob Mathis. So contrary to what all those commenters may think, my goal in running my mouth is to get voting numbers up. That's the only reason I'm doing this, is we've got to get voting numbers up. The most famous saying I hear within the political groups that I attend and show up to is, we'll always be a red state. We'll always be a red county. No, not in the direction we're going. We are legit 10 years behind in where you should be when it comes to candidates running and keeping people apprised of what's happening. We are so behind, and our voting numbers are so low. I have put up posts before of how low our voting numbers are. The city council members, the current city council members, all won with less than 800 votes. No, that's not good enough. I mean, props to them. They didn't have to do that much work. They all got in with, under 800 votes, most with no competition. But that's not okay. That's not okay. So I'm going to touch on something really quick. I'm sorry. This is longer than I wanted. I was going to try to talk faster. I need to talk faster. Again, I'm not a local. I can talk really fast. But I do want to touch on something really quick. Obviously, local elections matter. I need to get a shirt that says that. I had a girl a college girl just this past week. She's like, one thing about Kelly is if she loves something, she's going to make sure you know it. Like, she loves America, so her license plate says America. She loves the Gators. She's got Gator stickers. She loves voting. Girl's going to be wearing some voting shirts, and I have multiple. You never know to know where I land. I love voting. End of story. Like, this is such an amazing right that we have to get to vote. I literally post on my stories almost every day about how local elections matter. So I'm going to talk about 3 quick local elections, not here, but just to show you how a little thing like not showing up shifted an entire state. We're going to start with Virginia. Virginia, in 2021, it was 60% Republican voting. They won across the board in Virginia. Not saying that there's not little pockets, but across the board, they were Republican, because over 60% were voting Republican is fine. In 2025 election, they had a 2025 election for governor. And let's see, it was a 51% Democrat vote because Republicans didn't show up. Not because they didn't have the numbers. They just didn't show up. Virginia Beach is the most historically Republican county. And they flipped that seat. Not because they didn't have the numbers. It was an astronomical amount of numbers of Republicans in Virginia Beach. And they flipped that seat because they didn't show up. In Waynesboro County, the Democrats grew in votes by 68%. Not because they had the numbers, but because they showed up. So now, they now have a Democrat governor. And in the 1 month that she has been governor, she has legalized full-term abortions. She took away 24 states' concealed carry rights. So like, I have a concealed carry for Tennessee. I could go into Virginia and use my concealed carry permit. It was good in those states. In other states, she took away 24 states' concealed carry rights in that state. So you no longer can carry in there like you always have been. Do you know that? She changed that. If you live in Virginia, get a Utah concealed carry and you'll be good, because somehow she missed that state. She also dissolved Virginia's participation in the immigration enforcement program. Now, I don't think that's going to work, but she dissolved it, so she's no longer participating in removing illegal criminals from their state. All because Republicans didn't show up. That's it. That's the only reason. They have the majority in this state, and they didn't show up in these little counties, and therefore she won. That's not okay. Nashville race. Remember the Nashville race in December? I know it's more counties than just Nashville, but the Democrats haven't won a statewide seat since 2006. So 20 years, a Democrat has not won a statewide seat. And they hold a special election in December. In Davidson County, which is Nashville, obviously it's the city of Nashville, very blue city, but regardless, she ran on, I'm going to give you free everything, free buses, all the things, total socialist policies. She legit said, I'm going to do socialist policies, and she's going to defund the police. That's what she ran on. She got 55% of the vote. 55% of the vote. If it wasn't for all the other counties, she would have won. She would have won. She got up there saying she hates Broadway, she hates country music, she hates the whole country music culture, all the things, and she still won. How do you move to Nashville, country music capital of the country, and then vote for somebody that hates that culture? 55% of the vote. If it wasn't for the surrounding counties, she would have won. She would have won. And she still ended up the narrowest margin that she lost by. This election is coming back up again in November because it was just a special election. We have to get out and vote, or she will win. She will win. She has the money to win. She has the money to win. Knoxville City Council in November of 2024. Now keep in mind, in Knox County, 79% of the voters are Republican. 79%. And yet the city of Knoxville is Democrat run because they don't show up. Out of almost 100,000 registered voters, 25,000 people voted and the Democrats won. Not because we don't have the numbers, but because we don't show up. So, my goal with every single post you see me put up is not to trash any person running. If somebody is running, props. You are saying, I love this city and I want to see change. I'm fine with that. But what I'm not fine with is the system where you put your name on the list, you're the only one running, so you do no work. I don't care. There's several people on here that are going to win by default because nobody chose to run against them. They still need to put the work in. If you're running for school board, you best be showing up at those school board meetings. You best be showing up. I know for a fact that multiple that are running did not show up to Tuesday's meeting because I checked. I wanted to know if they showed up. They did not. One did that I know of. That's not okay. If you're running for county commissioner, maybe you can't make those meetings because they are really crappy times. But you better be watching those meetings. You better be showing us that you're paying attention to those meetings. You better be having conversation about what went on there, whether you agreed or didn't agree. It's simple as that. Local elections matter. And you can go on and on about we'll always be a red city. I got some major numbers to show you. I've not said it on here yet. Major numbers to show you that proves that we could lose this real fast. And numbers don't lie. It's not me just being crazy. Numbers don't lie. You want those numbers? Message me. I'll send you those numbers. I've sent them to multiple people that run things. And I'm like, we've got to do better here because look at these numbers. And they blew me off. One didn't, but the other ones blew me off. The other ones were just like, oh, it's, we'll work on that, but it'll be fine. No, I'm sorry. We cannot continue running campaigns like we're all over the age of 60. And I love the people that are over the age of 60. And we still need to do things to reach the people that are over the age of 60. But that's not going to sustain our city. What's going to sustain our city are the 20-year-olds and the 30-year-olds and the 40-year-olds and the 50-year-olds. So we've got to meet them where they are. I'm just a little passionate about voting. If you made it to the end, thanks. I can't see comments or anything for some strange reason. I can't see anything, so I have no idea if anyone's even on here, but that's okay. It'll be here for 30 days. Happy Valentine's Day.